Good morning and welcome to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac, president of Roby Electric, and along with Trent Haston, president and CEO of the Roby family of companies, we are your hosts. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook at Andrew Roby, Roby Electric, and Roby Realty. You can also check out our podcasts on the WBT app, WBT.com, or the iTunes store. Trent, you have an NC State Cup.
We had to start over because I was gonna go podcast.
Got my head a little bit.
Because,
Sorry.
We really want to get the audience excited about podcasts when they go on their beach trip with the family. Just drive your kids crazy and listen to At Home with Roby the whole trip.
Okay, that was a deflection on my question. You have an NC State Cup. You talk about North Carolina all the time on this show.
What is this called? A Tervis tumbler?
I think it is.
Yeah. Well, I went to Carolina.
Showing some love.
So I'm very liberal. So I like to share the wealth of the ACC. I was telling our guest he went to NC State.
Yeah, he did.
He'll be on here for our second and third segment. We're excited to have Moisture Lock today, but NC State has a big construction industry draw. So being in engineering school, and I like to represent because it's the cleanest Tervis tumbler in my cabinet and sits at the front of my cabinet. So it's what I pull out.
I got you. So it doesn't get much use. I understand that.
No, it gets a lot of use. I'm
right.
going to break it. I'm going to throw it in the parking lot when we're done.
Well, we've got the ACC just about well covered here. You've got you at Carolina, me, Clemson, NC State with Doug Doggett. We also have Sam McLam. Doug and Sam of Moisture Lock are going to be with us. You're right,
Great.
Talking about crawl spaces, somewhere I love to go.
So if we don't beat a dead horse enough, our goal of the show is for you to tune in on your way to church or wherever you're going on Sunday morning, or even at home on your couch, as we like to say. But we want you to learn something that you didn't think you were going to learn today, a topic that's cool and interesting that you're not just going to go Google without having it come hit you. So Moisture Lock is a wonderful topic in my opinion. It's one of the very vital parts of your organs of your home, and that's what they do. They do the crawl space in the lower part of the house, which is other than the roof, in my opinion, the key to keeping a home healthy. So hopefully we're going to pick up some great information today, and also we're going to have fun and joke around a little bit.
I was about to say, I mean, they also do waterproofing, which is great. But I mean, the goal of the show is to learn something about construction or your home, right? Learn something maybe about Charlotte. Learn something possibly about the Roby family of companies. And, of course, at the end of every show now, we're highlighting Make-A-Wish and a Make-A-Wish kid, which I think has been great.
It is, and it's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a buzz on a local charity that we hang our hat on and support, and also gives back to the community which we work and live. So I just got back from you and me, Daddy. It's not Daddy, it's either Mama or Daddy, but the first time a child goes to camp through our church, which is called Camp Greer's up in Old Fort. I went 2 years ago with my oldest daughter, Tatum, when she was 6, and now she was there at the same time. She's still there, but went up with my middle daughter, Rowan, and spent 3 days as a camper. So I got to shoot archery. I did a climbing wall for the first time, did a zip line into the pond, canoe, did the rock slide. I mean, it was a blast. The only thing that gets me a little bit is the shower and the toilet that these kids are dirtying the seats on all the time.
Hold on, we need to elaborate a little bit on that. Was there no running water? Was it like the bag?
It's running water, but you're in a dormitory with 3 shower stalls. One of them doesn't work, and three toilet stalls, and I'm sharing it with 7 and 8 year old boys that have no supervision because it's boys all on one side. It's cool. I just got a little weird in my older age.
Did it remind you of your freshman year at Granville Towers?
I was not at Granville Towers. That's where the yuppie kids
That's the
stay.
only thing I could think
I
of.
was
Okay,
at
I don't
Morrison
know
down on South Campus for 2 years, which was really some of the greatest times of my life of learning how to hang out with people that I didn't grow up with.
Well, I actually, at Clemson, was at Little John, and Little John was built as a temporary dormitory for the Vietnam War. And I was there in the year 2000, and that was the last year of its existence. And literally, you could stick your hand through the wall and touch the other guy in the room next to you. So I know what that's like. I mean, there's no privacy.
Wow.
But it was great. It was great.
You know, now I don't care. I mean, no. have no pride nor shame.
Neither do I. Well, let's talk about crawl spaces a little bit. Obviously, you said that you think it's the second most important part of your home.
No, I think it's equally as important as the roof. You can't let water in your house from the top, or quite frankly, insulation aspects of the roof let your air or your heat out of your house during the opposite season. And I think it's equally as vital. You have to have a house built on a strong foundation, and once you have a strong foundation, you got to keep the water away from the house. I mean, you can't erode the foundation. I mean, this is black book tips I learned when I was 8, riding around with my dad. Didn't know what I was learning. I will tell you, I mean, everybody's heard that I rode with Fred and Leroy in the dump truck from 14 to 16, and then I ran a crew and pulled a Bobcat from 16 to 18. I mean, half of what I did, I tore out a bunch of bathrooms in Myers Park and Eastover, and took a lot of loads to the dump and dug a lot of footers for additions. But with the footers came drainage, and came waterproofing once the mason laid the foundation. I mean, we called it black tar. You know, I mean, I painted more black tar on foundations. And then I do know that you got to get it right, because when you cover it back up and 6 months later, if you got some living space on that wall, behind that wall that you're waterproofing, if there's a little hole in it, your skeletons will come out of your closet, and you got to do it all over again. So it's a very vital thing to get right. And now, as Charlotte's evolved and homes have evolved, we're all about healthy crawl spaces, and I support that 1,000%.
Well, so if you're a homeowner, stay tuned, because we're about to get educated on all things crawl spaces. You're listening to At Home with Roby. When we return, we'll be joined by Doug Doggett and Sam McLam of Moisture Lock. Don't forget to check out our podcast on the WBT app, WBT.com, or the iTunes store. We'll be right back.